Hey, welcome to the Weekly Wave. All right, let's be honest. Letting go is not our strong suit. We hold on to things way longer than we should. Bad habits, toxic relationships, jobs that drain us, and even that one pair of jeans from 10 years ago that we swear we'll fit into again if we just kind of eat clean for a few weeks. But here's the thing, if they didn't fit you last year, they're not going to magically shrink in your favor, honestly. But here's the thing, not everything is meant to stay in our lives forever. Some things serve their purpose, and then it's time to move on. Yet, we resist. We kind of fight back, and we tell ourselves, maybe if I just try harder, it'll work out. And that's where we kind of mess up, because sometimes the best thing you can do for yourself is just let go. So, let's dig into this. Why do we hold on to things that aren't good for us? What exactly do we need to let go of? And how do we actually do it without feeling like we're completely losing our minds? All right, let's talk about why we're so bad at this. Because logically, we all know that holding on to things that make us miserable is just a bad idea, and yet we do it anyway. So, first is the comfort zone trap. Even when something isn't good for us, it's at least familiar. We stay in bad relationships, dead end jobs, or unhealthy routines because change is scary. You ever order the same thing at a restaurant because you don't want to risk being disappointed? I know I have a couple of chicken tenders and fries people out there. Come on, admit it. Now, imagine doing that with the entire portion of the rest of your life. That's what the comfort zone trap does to you. Second, the what if syndrome. What if I leave and regret it? What if this was actually the best I could do? What if I never find better? Our brain loves throwing worst case scenarios at us like a sport. But let's be real, how often do our worst fears actually come true? If you continue to think this way, you'll be stuck in this loop for the rest of your life. Third is the sunk cost fallacy. This is one of my favorites. We convince ourselves that because we've already invested time, energy, emotions, or money into something, we can't just walk away from it. But staying in a bad situation just because you've been in it for a long time is like eating a terrible meal just because you already paid for it. I'm sending that back. I don't care. And lastly is the guilt and obligation. Sometimes we hold on to people, situations, or responsibilities out of guilt. We don't want to let someone down. We don't want to look like we just gave up. But here's the truth. Letting go doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're choosing yourself. And that's not selfish at the end of the day. It's survival. Now, let's be specific, because trust me, we're all carrying some dead weight that needs to go. What do we need to let go of? The first one, and arguably the most important, is any toxic relationship in your life. This can be a friend, this can be a lover, this can be, hell, it can be family. This one's obvious, but somehow still the hardest. We all have that one person, or multiple, who kind of just drains our energy, makes us feel small, or only calls when they need something. And yet, we keep them around because we think we owe them something. You don't, trust me. If someone constantly brings stress, negativity, drama, or all three in your life, it's time to start distancing yourself. No dramatic goodbye needed, just a quiet exit, a German goodbye. Second is unrealistic expectations. We kind of set ourselves up for disappointment by expecting perfection from ourselves, from others, and ultimately from life. But perfection isn't an illusion. Your job won't always be fulfilling. Your friends won't always understand you. You won't always have it together, and that's fine. Letting go of these unrealistic expectations doesn't mean lowering your standards in life. It means allowing yourself to be human. And trust me, that's a lot less exhausting at the end of the day. Third is the need for control. Oh man, this one's tough, but guess what? No matter how hard you try, you can't control everything. People will do what they want. Situations will unfold the way they unfold. And stressing over things you can't change, that's like trying to stop the rain by yelling at the sky. Letting go of control isn't about giving up. It's about freeing yourself from unnecessary stress. It's about trusting that you'll handle whatever happens, even if it's not what you planned. Kind of being emotionally stoic to a certain extent. And lastly, maybe the hardest thing to let go of, the oldest version of ourselves, who we used to be. We all have an image of ourselves that we kind of hold on to. Whether it's who we were in high school, yeah, I know, peaking in high school, who we thought we'd become, or who we think we should be by now. And social media has contributed greatly to this. But we have to understand that growth means change. And sometimes that means shedding the old version of ourselves so we can step into something better. And think about it. A snake doesn't keep its old skin because it's sentimental. It sheds it because it no longer fits. Maybe it's time that we do the same. So how do we actually let go? How do we know we need to release? How do we actually do it? Because saying let go is easy, but doing it is a totally different story. First, you got to accept reality. Step one is stop romanticizing the past. Stop making excuses. Stop waiting for things to change. See the situation for what it is, not what you wish it was. Because you can't move forward if you're still clinging to the past or to an illusion. Second, you got to replace this thing. Don't just remove it. Here's where most of the people go wrong. They try to just stop doing something or stop something without replacing it. But nature hates a vacuum. If you're letting go of a bad habit, fill that space with something better. If you're leaving a toxic relationship, surround yourself with people who actually support you, who bring you up, in contrast to bringing you down. Letting go isn't about creating that emptiness in your heart or in your life. It's about making space and replacing it with something better. And third, you got to practice detachment. Now, this one is very tough and a very touchy subject for a lot of people, but if done right, it can be very life-changing. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop letting things control you. It means you trust that no matter what happens, you'll be okay. And that kind of mindset leads to freedom in the long run. And lastly, and again, the most important, you kind of got to be a little selfish and choose yourself. At the end of the day, letting go is about prioritizing yourself, your peace, your growth, your mind, and your happiness. Because if something is weighing you down more than it's lifting you up, it's not really meant for you anymore. So here's the deal. Life is way too short to hold on to things that ultimately make us miserable. Whether it's a bad habit, a toxic relationship, an outdated dream, or just the fear of change, it's time to let go. Because the truth is, the best things in life come from when we make room for them. But if we never release the old and make room for the new can't come in. So if you needed a sign in your life, this is it. Let it go. Move forward. Do that spring cleaning. And trust that something better is waiting for you in life. And for the love of God, if you're still holding on to those high school jeans, just donate them already, okay? It'll be okay. Thank you so much for listening.